Alright, so you're going to hear my fan in the background, but I really don't care. It's a nice kind of like cool rainy day. I came out here to do some stuff. As I mentioned, I got to fix these dents on the hood that I made when I had to stretch it out to mate up with the fenders. I started smoothing out this obviously original lead work here, and it actually came out pretty good. So I'm going to leave that and see what it looks like after primer. I smoothed out more of the lead work here. It's going to need a swipe of filler across this area, and we're going to have to redefine this edge because the lead actually is overlapping it. But that's not a big deal. When I put my filler, I'm going to pull up, and then I'll pull it this way, and I'll create that little edge, and then we'll shape it up so it looks a little bit better. We're going to need a little swipe back here. Not a big deal, just a little shape deal. Comment on these cars. We'll go to the other side. And obviously I already started sanding, so I can show you guys. We're going to put fiberglass filler here. I'm going to have to clean this out a little bit better. I may wait. I didn't bring a grinder home with me. This area is going to need more love. I trenched this out. There's a bit of a gap here, and I'm still kind of torn on whether I want to fix this because I may have to wait until I do the grinder to grind this all out. I couldn't trench it out as good as I wanted to with the DA, so I may wait because this area, by the time I do my filler work, I'm going to get into these little ripples here, and it might not be worth it. So at least we'll get something done today. There's this little ding here I'm going to fill. There's this dent in the back I'm going to try to pop out as much as I can, sand it down and fill that. That's like the only dent in the deck lid, I think. There's like a little spot here. I'm going to block that out and see how that looks after. But really, came out here to get something done today. Doing something is better than doing nothing. So that is my game plan, to get at least the hood done, some of the roof stuff done, smoothed out, and then we'll hit it later. Boss is picking up doors for patch panels for this thing, and then, you know, once the patch panel work is done, we'll kind of be on the move. So as you can see, I taped off my glass, very important, so you don't hit anything, especially on the glass, because it takes a lot of work to get scratches out of glass. So I'll let you guys go. I'll follow it up once I get some work done. Alright, insert number 2. My compressor just shut off, so it's not going to go off in the middle. I put oil in it because it really needed it. It was low. That thing leaks. I've had that compressor for over 10 years. It works amazing. So, you know, when I talk about like laying your filler on smooth, that's how it should look, and that is going to literally do more than 50% of the work. You're just going to have to come in here, sand it with 80, finish it off with 180, maybe 320. It's your preference. I finish stuff off in 180 when the high build primer takes care of those scratches and they don't shrink up. So up on this pillar, I had some leftover filler, so I said, you know what, let's fuck around and find out. So I went ahead and put some filler on there. I'm going to smooth that out. And then over here, you can see what I'm talking about, shaping. So I pulled my filler this way, this way, this way, and then here I put a tight coat this way to build up that little lip so I can shape it, and then I grabbed the spreader and followed that curve. And then I did one in between where I kind of started to fold the spreader a little bit, like my fingers are roughly shaping it, and then I followed it down, and then I shaped this corner as well. And then I should be able to go in here, block it out, and that should be it, and it should leave it ready for a skim coat of spot putty, which I'll go a little wider. Now you guys might be asking yourself, why am I putting filler over primer? Well, guys, modern fillers bite into 80 grit, and it's actually suggested that on vehicles for collision repair that you maintain as much of the original corrosion protection as possible. So it's actually much better to put filler over epoxy because body filler is porous, so it will hold moisture. Clearly, I did end up overspreading into some of the shinier areas, but overall, when I take it back, it's going to stay in the area that I need it. I am getting ready to mix up a little bit of filler and put some on the deck lid. And there's another spot on that quarter panel I decided to just put filler on just because. But either way, oh no, the roof, I should say. There's a ding on the roof. The areas with the bad lead, I decided I'm going to wait until tomorrow because hey, if I get anything done today, which I probably get these areas done today, these three, I'll be happy with in the trunk, and that little ding isn't much. I'll be good, and then tomorrow I'll bring my grinder, dig out the lead, fill it in with fiberglass. Same thing for that corner, and then our roof is done, our hood is done. And granted, I'm going after the bulk work. I haven't completely finished blocking the hood, but just by feel, it's super smooth. I don't see it. Same thing with the fenders. The door's got a lot of little dings and stuff, but once we patch them in, again, I sound like a broken record, but either way, things are moving along, and I just figured this would be a good little point to show you guys a little bit more in depth, and maybe talk about like filler and stuff as far as like what's proper and whatnot, because you got a lot of online warriors that say, you know, bare metal. No, that's actually bad, man, because you know, filler will absorb moisture, and even though you top coat it, you know, that window in between it can trap moisture. So it's actually better to put body filler over your, you know, your corrosion protection, which in our case is the epoxy primer. Now we got a couple spots with bare metal, but that's not of major concern. It's not bad, but for the most part, you don't want body filler on completely bare metal. Now, a lot of fillers do have, you know, anti-corrosion properties, but you're going to have to spend more for that type of filler. And honestly, for quality purposes, you should buy a better filler if that's your intention. Now, if you're going to be doing like what I'm doing here, yeah, I'm using the USC Chromate Light, which is it's probably the best cheap filler that you're going to be able to buy. It sands super smooth. It does have a tendency to peel if you sand it too soon, but if you let it dry and you stay busy enough, we actually use that at the shop. It's a great filler. I like it. Either way, I'll let you guys go. This has been too long. Show you when it's all ready. Round two, fight. So this is round two with body filler work. Obviously, the last time I made the video, which I actually recently just uploaded. I showed you guys I got the fenders done, which was quite a bit of work. Well, tonight I came out of here for a few hours, just about 2, with a break in there for dinner. I got this side done on the hood. Came out great. It just needed a swipe. You can see underneath the lightish green, if my camera can get it, the yellowish is our filler, which had its skim coat. And then I finished it off with the glazing putty, which is obviously almost transparent because it was just to fill in minor imperfections. As I said in the other segment of this video, I ended up taking care of this. This came out pretty good. Took a little swipe, had leftover filler. Now, what I will say is this area on A-bodies is really tricky. Let me tell you why. You're going from this into a dip, and then it flattens out, and then you still have this corner here. You almost have to blend it all in. It's like you cannot sand this flat. You have to follow the shape, go forward. You know, you have to really follow the contour. Not to mention, this lip here on all these A-bodies is never right because the lead always builds up. So you can see my edge if you can follow my finger. I cleaned that up really good, and it should look pretty good. So obviously I took care of the inside part of the lead seam on the part of the drip rail here. And again, I had a little bit of filler left over, and this was ready to get a skim coat. So I put a skim coat of filler and then a skim coat of putty, which took a little bit more than I wanted to shape it out right, but really still really thin. So nothing major there. And then I took care of what I found on the decklet so far, but the more I work, the more I find. So this big dent here, I actually pushed out from the inside. It also got a skim coat of filler and a skim coat of putty afterwards after I sanded it. There was a ding here, took care of that. And there's 2 little low spots here that just stuck out to me. Those are just going to get swiped next time around when I'm working. And that should be it for the deck lid. Now, I would have wanted to do this side, but you know what? I'm kind of glad I didn't because I was able to do other things. But this big crack here is what bothers me. I need to trench all this out and make sure there's nothing else happening under there, like rust or something that's popping this lead, creating this crack. So I'm going to have to bring in my die grinder and grind all of this out. And I have an aluminum bit which will take all the soft lead out without screwing up the carbide. And of course, the reason why I didn't fix this is because by the time I do this, I'm going to have to blend all my filler work into here. And you got to think about that kind of stuff. So I didn't bother sanding this because that was just a little ding. So really, you know, we put a good, you know, and the next time around when I fix it, I'm going to pull this dent. There's a little bit of work here that's needed. I'm not going to have to do any welding here, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. There's another little spot here that has to come out. And then all the lower stuff will get taken care of when I patch it. So I'm pretty much leaving all the, and I just actually, look at that. After pawing it up, there's a little ding there. We'll take care of that. Again, little stuff is going to pop up the more you work and the more you do. But we're making progress here, and this thing's actually coming along really nice. A couple hours a night is all it takes, man. I did those in less than 3 hours. Granted, I got like 16 years of experience, but no different than my olds. The first time I did it, I was 17, and it took me 2 years to get this car to a point where I can enjoy it, and it wasn't perfect. But I knew that I would eventually redo a lot of my sins, so don't get caught up on making a perfect car, guys. These cars were not perfect from the factory. I'm making this very presentable. I'm making this nice. But, you know, I'm not going to go show a car where we're welding up the gaps to make them dead perfect. No, this is a really nice gap considering 1970s GM standards. But we're going to, you know, we're going to make this really nice. So I hope you guys are enjoying this and following along. I guess I'm bipolar when it comes to wanting to do stuff, so I'm just kind of doing updates on this thing. So either way, guys, I'm signing off. So share, like, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram as Copper Cutlass. Give it a like, give it a share, subscribe. Damn it. I'll let you go.